Good morning, occupied states of America. This is Dr. Ryan Bartek reporting from Occupy Portland, where we have plenty of new news for you today. We had some visitors to the camp over the weekend, one of which was Henry Rollins, and the other was Daniel Baldwin. So now we have a Baldwin infestation, just like the Hollywood industry. But anyway, the new news at camp when passed the DGA is that the finance committee, comprised of 4 individuals, will no longer have total control of the money, and that we are introducing a system that is totally transparent, and which there will be a spending committee and a finance committee. The finance committee will be charged with allocating funds, bringing them together, and then the spending committee will basically, any committee that exists within our camp can come and request money. So it makes it a much easier process to get funds around and any kind of equipment we need. Also, in news for occupations across the United States, there was an IED thrown over the fence at Lincoln Park, Maine, in which it was a chemical bomb. And it blew up in the middle of the camp, and it harmed kitchen equipment and the medical equipment. Nobody was harmed, thankfully. Apparently, terrorism attacks are not just a Muslim thing, as most people should know, any thinking individual. In other news, there's a working group proposal for communication and networking sent to all GAs across the country. That is something being pushed through all the place. I think New York was the one that started that. If you want to look more into that, just Google it. Right now, we're also working with the fire marshal to help set up our tents in a more concrete fashion so that no fire hazards are any kind of issue. We're aligning the tents in a much more structured way. You will see a stronger looking camp. We have a new info booth. We have a new kitchen booth. We're setting up everything right now. In other news, there were many arrests at Cincinnati and Cleveland over the weekend. San Jose was totally dismantled. They've been given an eviction notice in Oakland, and there's a lot of pressure in Vancouver to shut it down completely. Also, the cops refused direct orders to destroy Occupy Albany in New York. They completely backed down. And also in news, there's a Long Island couple not connected to our movement whatsoever who are trying to patent and trademark the name Occupy Wall Street. Their names are Robert and Diane Maresca from Long Island, last name M-A-R-E-S-C-A. So maybe you should send them an email and see how you feel about that. Also, it was discovered, as you know, this other news about the TSA. There was a woman named Jill Filopovic, a writer, who apparently they found a sex toy in her luggage, and the TSA left an official TSA note in it with the message, "Get your freak on girl inside her luggage," which is another civil suit in the working. Anonymous has come out also. They're going to try to take down FoxNews.com on November 5th. The EU bailout, which is coming, which will implode our financial system in the next week. The EU bailout is at $1.4 trillion to save Europe, and the IMF doesn't want to pay it, and it means really bad news. As far as Libya is concerned, new footage has come forward today that purports that while Gaddafi was walking around all bloody, the rebels were actually sodomizing him with a knife, like a bayonet, a knife. Okay, this has been showed in a very acute analysis of the footage, the actual footage, not just a little clip of him getting off the car. That's pretty gruesome. And also, it should be known that the new NTC, the National Transitional Council of Libya, is going to be introducing radical Islamic Sharia law. Also, it should be known that Russia's military came out and said that the entire moment when Gaddafi was supposed to blow up the people in Benghazi, which caused NATO to get involved, that was a false flag operation. So Russia claims that that never apparently happened, and it was a propaganda thing for NATO to get involved. Also, the United States federal has come down, and they're limiting Medicaid stays in hospitals. They're kicking people on the streets within 1 to 10 days now. They're limiting them completely. And expect another U.S. financial downgrade within the next week or so. Also, in other more news, the U.S. ambassador has fled Syria, and Syria has recalled their ambassador to the United States. And also, if the United States goes to war with Pakistan, Afghanistan will be backing Pakistan, and you can only imagine what would happen after that. So, I leave you on this extremely Nostradamus moment with also mentioning that the Vatican has come out today demanding or calling for global authority is that there will be a central world bank dominated by the UN, and also the IRS has clamped down on Swiss banks, and now Swiss banks are handing over all thousands of American tax evasion cases by big business that have been skirting the law and putting money through Luxembourg and Switzerland. They're going to try to steal or take their stolen money back, per se. So a lot of major corporations are now entangled in this web, and apparently it's a Obama thing. And people have also asked, what makes you a doctor, Ryan Bartek? Well, I'm a doctor of free therapy, and my PhD is that I'm pissed, hopeless, and deranged, and I hope you all remember that for the future. And peace be with you all, and I'll see you tomorrow. Good night, occupied states.